There are some phone applications that work with a single screen, such as the Compass app or the Voice Memos app, but ours will need several to display its rich content. The Shigatsu restaurant wants its users to be able to access a description of the restaurant and what makes it unique, the restaurant menu, as well as location and contact details. Our UI designer has sent us pixel-perfect mockups for each screen so we can implement the designs and functionalities on the front end. I'm going to show you how to build several screens, navigate from one screen to another, and transition between them. So inside the storyboard, we're going to add another view controller from the objects library. To indicate the move from one view controller to another, we are going to draw a fishing line between them. We click on the control bar of the first view controller. You will notice that it contains three icons: view controller, first responder, and exit. Then we simply do a control click on the view controller and drag towards the second view controller. Let go of the mouse. A dialog box titled Manual Segue lists three options: push, modal, and custom. I'm going to select modal. Xcode draws an arrow starting from the first view controller and going to the second one. This is called a segue. A segue is an object whose responsibility is to manage the visual transition between two view controllers. By clicking on the central circle inside the segue and then on the attributes inspector, we can specify certain parameters for our transition. The identifier field must be filled in. We're going to call ours to home screen. And for the transition option, we're going to choose cross dissolve. Feel free to try the other transition options in your own time to see what the effect looks like in the simulator. If we do launch the simulator now, we are getting to our splash screen, but nothing happened that takes us to the second view. This is because we didn't give any instructions in our code to trigger the segue. Inside the splash view controller file, we are going to add the viewDidAppear method. And because we're overriding from our superclass, we must call the method on super by writing super.viewDidAppear and pass it animated as a parameter. I would like my transition to the next screen to occur 3 seconds after our welcome view has appeared. This is why we're going to write our code inside the viewDidAppear method, since it's called automatically as soon as our view has appeared on screen. If we want to trigger a command after a set amount of time, we can call the scheduled timer with time interval method on NSTimer. Our first parameter takes the number of seconds before the command is triggered. So for us, 3 seconds. The second parameter indicates which class contains the command to be executed. Here, we're going to stay within our Splash View Controller class, so we're going to pass self as the parameter. The selector is simply the name of the function that will be called when the timer has finished counting down. Ours will be called to next screen. We're not passing any information, so we can write nil for user info. And for repeats, we're going to pass false, since we're going to activate our timer only once. So we've written a line of code that should be calling a function automatically, but there is one missing piece. We still need to write our toNextScreen method. So func toNextScreen, and inside I'm going to call perform Segue with identifier. You remember that our identifier was called toHomeScreen, and we can pass nil as the sender. Let's launch the simulator and see if everything is working properly. We have a transition occurring 3 seconds after our welcome view has displayed on screen, and it takes us to a second screen, which is blank. So how do we know it really is our second view and not an error? Back in the storyboard, let's add a label to our second view. And I'm going to write second view as the text. Save and relaunch the simulator. And there you have it. You now know how to transition between screens within your app and trigger it after a set amount of time. In the next video, we're going to add all the views our app will need, as well as a navigation system that will allow our users to freely browse the app.